Welcome to this edition of Team USASAC, a podcast dedicated to explaining and telling the United States Army Security Assistance Command's mission. It is October, which is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so in today's episode, we are going to be talking about just that. I'm Tim Hansen with the Public Affairs Office, and here with me to give us a look into the world of cybersecurity is none other than USASAC's lead cybersecurity officer, Marjorie Bishop. Ma'am, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Tim.
Okay, Marjorie, first things first, just how serious a threat is cybersecurity?
It's actually pretty serious, and I guess a lot of times we don't realize it. Just last year, data compromise has gone up 68% from the year previous. So it just continues to escalate, and that government docs and things like that are also on the top list for, them to go after. So be mindful.
Yeah, it's almost one of those threats that I kind of look at or see as technology evolves, and people like their conveniences within technology. Actually, that cyber threat actually probably increases with that.
Oh, it definitely does, because as soon as a new technology comes out, we're going to get it, we're buying it. But just to know that those bad actors are there right behind us, they're learning it and being able to fish us and get us.
You just brought up a term that I wanted to touch on. You hear terms like phishing, and actually when we were talking right before we started, you said smishing, and I had never heard that before. So phishing, smishing, malware, ransomware, those are all terms we hear when talking about cybersecurity. Just for our audience, can you kind of give us a brief explanation of what those terms actually mean?
Well, a lot of them are those bad actors trying to get you and exploit you, especially when you're feeling comfortable. Especially, a lot of people don't understand, like the smishing, the SMS texting, you get that lovely email or a text message, saying, hey, you've just been in Sam's, for instance, this week, if you fill out this quick survey, you can win $50.
And I see you're smiling there. And in full disclosure, before we started recording here, you'd said that, and I was like, you mean they weren't from Sam's? I mean, it's something like I personally hadn't heard about smishing before, so I'm glad we're having this conversation because those pop in. You get texts like that a lot, more and more, I guess, as time goes on. If somebody does get a text like that, say for smishing, should they just delete it? What should they do for that?
I mean, I know I normally just go ahead and just delete it. I mean, that'd be the recommended. But, if you're unsure, contact whoever sent that, the organization themselves. Don't go through that email and click on that link. Go to a known link or call them and verify it.
And that goes the same for text. Don't just reply to the text.
Correct.
Go to the source, who they're saying they're from, basically.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, all these different, it sounds like it can definitely make an impact on the individual, on the employee, but that can also make an impact on the organization as a whole. What can individual employees do to really combat the cyber threat?
I would say just be cognizant of their surroundings, especially, depending on where they're at, if they're traveling or even at home and there's visitors in the home, that you're not leaving things out. Also, with the way the technology is nowadays, a lot of people have, those Internet of Things. They just keep getting smarter and smarter, but you just have to be careful because they're always listening. Also just make sure that if you do have a password, make sure it's a strong password. Be cognizant of also, like, if you're posting something, about work or, personal life, those are also something that individuals could be looking at.
Kind of just piggybacking off of talking about what different individuals can do with passwords, this and that. I saw something the other day. It was on a poster, a billboard, but it was Stop, Think, Connect, or something like that. Is that just a message that's out there, or tell me a little bit about that and what else is out there?
Yes, that's kind of like the collaboration between, like, government and industry. It's a site that has a wealth of information. So if you haven't ever been out to that site, that's a good place to get information. As well as, don't ever forget, there's always the CISA site, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, or the National Cybersecurity Alliance. That's always something good, which kind of goes along with some of the themes that are this year. And they kind of all piggyback off of each other. See yourself in cyber. It's easy to stay safe online. And the Army CIO theme this year is cybersecurity starts with you. So we're trying to really drive that home, that it's really everybody's duty to help try to keep us secure.
Yeah, you're kind of touching on my next question going in there. Security as a whole and cybersecurity as well really does take everyone. It's kind of a team effort. How important is participation when dealing with these types of threats?
Oh, it's very important because, everybody is our eyes and ears out there. So if you see something and you're not quite sure, no matter what it is, go ahead and give us a holler. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. Because recognizing and reporting is just as important as my job trying to go out there and try to help keep everybody safe. So it's a team effort.
Right. You can't be everywhere at once. That's kind of where it comes down to everybody's in this together.
They are. It's definitely a team effort. And so if you don't know, definitely send us an email or give us a holler or check me on Teams.
Yeah, Teams is great now as well. If they get, like, say, a suspicious email, how should they send that to you? They probably shouldn't forward it to you, right?
Correct. I would not recommend forwarding it to us. Contact us and we can walk you through how to make that to where it's...
whether it's almost taking a screen grab of it or something.
Correct, a snapshot of it.
Don't click on the link.
Don't click on any links, correct.
Don't reply to it. And like you said, if they're not 100% sure exactly what to do, just contact you guys first and you can walk them through how they can get that to you if they need to, or maybe you can just fix it via phone call, who knows.
Correct, all those are viable.
Well, we're just about to wrap up today's episode. If there's one or two things, though, that you really want our listening audience to maybe take away, what would that be?
I would say basically, recognize and report anything you see. Always protect your online presence wherever it's at, here either at work or personal. Secure your Internet of Things, so if you have your phone or another device at home, make sure those are secured.
I know a lot of people with their cell phones. Sometimes you have the, and I wish I knew exactly what this was, the two-step method or authentication, or I don't know how.
Two-factor authentication, yes.
That's something you'd recommend for whenever it's offered, basically?
Yes, always use the two-factor authentication whenever you have the opportunity to use that. With a password, I can get in there. Not me, I'm not going to be doing that. But if somebody wanted to, a bad actor, they could get in there within seconds, because sometimes they have a data dictionary of passwords or whatever. Whereas if you have two-factor authentication and you have to have them send a code back to a device that only you have, that would definitely slow them down.
Okay, well, Marjorie, this is all really good information. Just one last time, is there anything you want to add for our listeners out there?
I would just say, as the Cybersecurity Awareness Month information is shared throughout the month, reflect on your cybersecurity practices and identify on ways that you can incorporate them into your daily activities in order to protect you, your family, and your country from nefarious online activities.
Good deal. Well, I just want to thank you, Marjorie, for joining us today. We do appreciate you giving our listeners an inside look at cybersecurity and really what people can do to combat that threat moving forward, because it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere in the near future. It's going to be with us for a while. So I want to thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I want to thank all of you that tuned into this special edition of Team USASAC. As always, if you want to learn more about the United States Army Security Assistance Command, just visit our website at www.army.mil/USASAC. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. Until the next time, for Team USASAC, I'm Tim Hansen. Thank you for listening.